Now let's start at the top. Alright, stance, pretty good. Again, the thing that I would notice here, which we've already talked about, is that back toe, how it's pointing out, and I notice where my knee's pointing out. Okay. Now, in this picture, look what you're seeing with Derek Jeter. You're seeing his knee, and you're seeing just the end of his toe. Okay. Now notice how it's just barely, but notice how his toe is outside his knee. Okay. Now your toe's outside your knee, but in a bad way because your toe's pointed out. We want your knee to be inside your toe with your toe pointing straight at the plate because that's going to be in a much more athletic fashion. The other thing I want you to notice is that from a good standpoint, you have aggressive posture. From your front eye to your belt buckle. And front eye to belt buckle, that's a good thing, okay? Because I'll show you later when we talk about aggressive posture and how it's going to help us. All right, so we get negative movement. Load's nice and quiet. Okay, toe touch. Now, here's where we start to get here. Now notice where now we're at about 80 well, actually, I can show you. We want to be, if here is 90 degrees straight in front of your toe, that would be 0. Okay. Now you're at 51 degrees, okay? It's a little much, okay? I'd much rather it be inside of that 45. Now it's 51. I actually thought it'd be a lot more, but it kind of also depends on where I draw this line. But I'd much rather it be more closed on that front toe. And you can see how his front toe is still almost pointing directly at the plate. Okay, we go to heel plant. Okay, now heel plant. Now notice what happened here with our hips. Okay, how your back heel is kind of down, and your hips. Where's this front hip look like it's going? It's going forward, but more than anything, it's going backward. It's actually opening up. All right, and then we get to connection. Connection means your back elbow and your back hip connect. Not even meaning they touch, but they come forward at the same time. See how his back elbow and back hip are in line? See where your back elbow and back hip are? You've got a separation between those two. Okay. So that would be something that we want to work at thinking about. When my back hip comes forward, so does my back elbow, and that's by virtue of keeping your hips closed is going to help you do that. Okay. Then we get to bat lag. Here's not bad. All right. But now I want us to see where we're at. So when I go my front eye. Okay. Now let's go front eye to belt buckle here. Now what do you see? Both you guys had aggressive posture to start with. Then at contact, you went from an aggressive posture to a negative posture, meaning leaning slightly back. Now his posture is where? Straight up and straight down. Okay, my point of it is that if I go from an aggressive posture to a negative posture, what does that mean my lower half is doing? It's sliding out from under you, and it also, what is that going to do to our shoulders? It makes our head stand still, but our shoulders are going to dip and drive, which is also going to make our hands drop. Okay, so we need to think about being more vertical or upright at contact. Okay, and not letting those, and that all goes back to two things. One, that front toe pointing out, keeping our hip closed. All right, and that's going to allow those hips to work properly so that we can get to contact and not go from a aggressive posture to a negative posture. That all make sense?
Yep.
All right, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good.